A segment with Stephen M. Sipple of 93.7 The Ticket on 3.com. Never lets us down. He joins us now.
Yeah.
Good morning, Sip.
How we doing?
We're doing well. How are you doing?
Good. Just be tolerant. I'm at the drive-through, but I think I can pull this off.
What are you getting?
Oh, no.
What are you
Are
ordering?
we at McDonald's?
Yeah, I'm at McDonald's. I got just a regular coffee with some oatmeal.
Oh, okay. What kind of oatmeal? Just plain oatmeal?
Fruit and maple oatmeal. Yeah, they put some raisins and apples on there.
Nice.
Now,
there you go.
have you already gone through? Have you ordered and now you're in line to pay and get your food, or are you past?
Yeah, no, I've already ordered.
Okay, so keep with us. When we get to the drive-up window, let's have a conversation with the McDonald's employee.
Yes.
No, we're not doing that because he's got a head. I'm right there, and he has a headphone on, and it's loaded. We're in a long line situation.
So he ain't got time for that bull junk.
He don't got time to jack around, and I know these people. They don't jack around. They're good. That one on 27th and Vine is a. Yes. I'll drive out of my way to go to this one. This is my second trip through here this morning.
Well,
I went 5:30, and now this is kind of my second round.
Nice.
Okay. I prefer the one on Cornhusker Highway at about 56th.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is always busy. They got to be better though with efficiency, but that's beside the point.
We all got to be better with efficiency. We all have to be better.
Yeah,
okay. You're right.
Okay, right. So let's attach that to Nebraska football. 2-0, Sip. How are you feeling about what you've seen through 2 games?
Well, I mean, it just depends what area you're talking about, but generally good. What I've been saying all week is I think they need to start cutting loose a little bit on offense. What does that mean? To me, it just means a little more playbook, a little more throwing it downfield. I think. Oh, 1 second. I think that. Thank you. I think the theme, if I were the head coach, would be I want more offensive aggression, particularly in the second half. Let's get some momentum going offensively going into the Big Ten. Dylan's ready for it. Is everybody else ready for it? You know, that's what I'd like to see.
And as there's been the various challenges from this coaching staff to this team, especially with Matt Rule, you mentioned with Dylan and matching that intensity as well. What do you anticipate that looking like on Saturday against an FCS team where obviously the juice, the buildup externally is not even close to what it was a week ago against Colorado?
What do I think the home team's intensity will look like?
Yeah, just as far as matching that intensity and you know, I'm maybe more interested in the offense as far as the things that they've been sort of called out on.
Well, I mean, it helps it's a night game. That helps the defense more, obviously, but I just would like to see a little bit the offense to be a little more dialed in. And I'm talking about play calling too. I want to see something that resembles a grand plan. You know, something that is that you can tell they're building towards something. But the second part of it is, I'll just reiterate, I think it just turned Dylan loose more. Mm-hmm. I think he's shown through 2 games that you don't have to be overly careful with him. So let him throw it downfield a little bit more. Also, though, I would try to be a little more imaginative in the run game. It's not you can't do that much. I would get Barney going more because he's so electrifying. They've done okay that way, and stuff got called back. I get that, but I think you got to get him more involved. There's some players you want to get more involved. I think you want to get Fedoni more involved. This is a week where you can do some of that, where you can dictate that. Sometimes when you're playing, you can't really dictate those things because you're just in a scrap, and you got to kind of do what you got to do. But this should be a game where you can kind of fix some stuff, emphasize some stuff, tune up some stuff. This isn't really a defensive discussion. It's an offensive discussion and a special teams discussion.
I agree with you. I think this is a week to go deep, to test it out, to stretch the field and let Dylan stretch out the arm. But it's going to take wide receivers. Sip, why are we still having this discussion about Garrett McGuire's group now with a couple of new faces? We still are talking about inconsistent perimeter blocking, the inability to have separation, explosive plays, minor details, route running. Why are we still having this discussion about wide receivers?
I don't know. I mean, again, there's another player I'd want to add to this discussion about getting the ball to more is Jalen Lloyd. I think that's another one. That's another player you try to get a little more involved. As far as your question goes, I mean, some of it might just be you have some new faces in there, a couple new key new faces. Some of it is, I mean, maybe it's a little nitpicky, and they're just looking for ways to motivate. That might be some of it. But if you do look at it, the perimeter block wasn't good. I don't know. I don't know how to explain some human behavior. Some human behavior to me just sort of defies explanation. I don't. Why would there be? Why on earth would there be sort of lackluster effort in that game? It doesn't make any sense to me, except in this day and age of transfers now, guys, it's very transactional in nature. College football is a little more transactional now, and they don't feel the affinity. They don't feel for the program that you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like we care deeply about that program, but not every guy over there does. I mean, they don't have that. They don't have those deep roots. So I don't know. It's just human behavior. You never quite know. There's teams all over America that don't show up every Saturday ready to play, and I don't know how to explain it. There's no explanation.
Okay, with the wide receiving conversation, and just in 2 games, I want to get your assessment of how the offensive line plays a role in that as well, because we saw it a lot more against Colorado, where it seemed like even though Dillon at times was able to stay poised in the pocket when he was throwing it, and the numbers with 10 yards or less were fantastic. There was pressure on him as well. What has been your assessment in all of that coming to fruition, especially in the passing game, with how the offensive line has protected?
Well, I mean, I think when you talk about the passing game, there's a lot. It's hard to just pinpoint one area and say this is the reason why it wasn't what they wanted. It oftentimes it's a combination of pass blocking, it's receivers not finishing strong at the top of their routes. You're seeing that. Matt Rule referred to the fact that Dillon wants to make certain throws and the receiver's not available because he didn't get to his landmark in time. I mean, you saw that during the Frost era. I mean, you had some receivers that literally just couldn't get to the landmark that they needed to get to. So yeah, you're seeing some of that. There's a lot that goes into it. Now, none of this is reason to panic at all. I mean, this is sort of, to me, it's kind of early season talk and stuff that a lot of teams have to get ironed out early in seasons. It wasn't perfect, but I don't really expect it to be perfect. I don't think we should expect it to be perfect 2 games in. I understand where Gary's coming from with the question. It is sort of maddening that they have that kind of problem. You know what else is maddening about it is what Satterfield said, that they had the problem in camp.
Right. Yeah.
With the perimeter blocking part of this, that they weren't strong in that area in camp, and it didn't get addressed properly, apparently. But it'll be addressed properly this time because the head coach put everybody on notice. I mean, this wasn't a great week for the receiver room. It wasn't a great week for Ed Foley. The head coach is interesting that way. He's very public in his comments, which I like. I mean, we love transparency. And I appreciate how transparent he is, but it's put some pressure on some guys this week.
Well, and why I bring it up, and I want to shift over to defense, but I get it. Everybody's learning each other. I think they're still learning each other's roles. You talked about Jalen Lloyd. He's got a hammy that he's coming back from, but he's healthier coming into this game than he was in the previous 2. It's the effort. Garrett McGuire used the word effort, and I went, yeah. But there is no discussion of effort on the defensive side of the ball, Sip, There's so many things to pick out and go, man, this defense through 2 games, they are as advertised. But could I use the word this defense to the opposition is fearful, and you might vibe with me? And not only fearful about what they're able to do because they're a smart defense, but man, they got some dudes on that side of the ball that are out to put a licking on guys. I mean, they hurt Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the old days, Sip. You look at Colorado's injury report, you would say, oh, they must have played Nebraska. That's what it was like way back, a long time ago. That might be the new defense. Thoughts on the defense through 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're right in that this is the way it is going forward. The defense imposed its will on the game. The defense took control of the game early in the game. It shut the door on Colorado by halftime, and it was largely a defensive discussion. You're right. I hope that's what we're talking about. There's pretty strong evidence Saturday. I wouldn't have guessed. I'm in that camp that came out of that game going, wow, never expected Nebraska to hold Colorado to 10. I did not. I wrote a column when I interviewed George Darlington. George is smart. George watches the games intently. George watches practices intently. He expected the shootout. He said he never dreamed Nebraska would hold Colorado to 10. Joe Klatt picked Colorado to score 34. Joe Klatt's exceedingly intelligent. No, this is. I came out of that first half and really the whole game really impressed with how they defended Colorado. Rule though expected it, which was that he talks so fast. But he says, if you listen, he says some fascinating things. And for him to, he whipped through it so fast, but he expected 40 to 10, basically. I mean, he thought it was that kind of game. He thought that his team could win 40 to 10. Wow. I thought it would be a close game. I thought Colorado would score a lot. But I would say the defense, my reaction, Gary, was I was sitting up there in the press box going, I think the defense I knew it was good. I think it's better than good, and it's probably a little better than I expected. But as you know, it's a week-to-week conversation.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys still have Lee Sterling on in the mornings on the ticket?
He predicted Colorado to win 48 to 45.
Yep, same with us too.
You. Yeah. We were blown away. Not by, there were other people that picked Colorado win, but the fact that he said they would score 48, we were jaw-dropping. And we were up against it because he had an out to do another show in Pittsburgh at 8, so we couldn't go, Lee. I mean,
yeah,
we probably have to have some speaks with him, Sip.
Yeah, I just thought I still think the defense has. We always say, a lot of people around here say it's a great defense. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting a tag on. I didn't see great defense last year. I didn't. I'm always kind of taken aback when people say it was a great defense last year, because it wasn't. They didn't get off. There's too many instances where they didn't get off the field when they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good. Now I wonder, are we looking at a great defense? That's again, week to week. It did look like a great defense to me last week.
And Sip, watching that performance, because I think we're all on the same page. I mean, that was just it was incredible given the skill position talent that Colorado has. I can't decide if it's we know this defense has individuals that are really good. They're built the right way, but I couldn't help. Gary brought this up with the pick six, which I think was a really good example of other guys doing their job. And I know Matt Rule talked about this on Monday as well. Other guys doing their job that led to Shedeur throwing it out there towards the flat where Tommy Hill jumps the route. The assignment soundness of this defense.
Oh, yeah.
Was this game more about that than just having dudes on that side of the football?
I hate to do this to you, but it's both. It is both.
Mm-hmm.
They are assignment sound. They should be assignment sound. I mean, it's a veteran. It's a 7 seniors that start on the defense, 4 juniors. You're not going to have that all that often. 7 seniors, 4 juniors in the starting lineup. Second year in the system, and it is sound. And hell, it was sound last year.
Yeah.
Those guys locked in and learned that defense at a high level. Now, year 2. Now, that cuts both ways. Big Ten teams, they got film on Nebraska now. So there's also that part of it. But man, they do work together. It's a very much a team defense.
Yeah, it is.
But you do have some guys now that are going to another level, it looks like, to that kind of first team Big Ten talk, first team all Big Ten talk, like Ty and Tommy Hill.
Yep.
And Bullock, hell, played at a super high level for stretches of that game. But I'd say Tommy Hill and Ty Robinson, they look like first team all Big Ten level players to me. And that's what takes it to another. That's what takes the defense from, they're good. That takes it to great.
Yep.
If you can have, just 2 first team. I'm not talking about, people always say, well, I mean, he was an all Big Ten player. Wait a second. What are you talking about? Well, he's third team. That doesn't count. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about first team all Big Ten. Tommy Hill, Ty Robinson, they look like that to me right now.
Great stuff, Sip. We appreciate it. So does McDonald's. A double timer at McDonald's before 9. That's a pretty impressive.
Bill Bush says, Sipple, you go to McDonald's 600 times a year, and I think he's probably right.
Oh, 600 times a year.
Do you use the app?
No, I will not touch that app. No way.
Discounts.
That is
points.
True. Yeah, that is
you
true,
get free
Sip.
fries on Friday.
I mostly just drink coffee. I mean, I did get the oatmeal, but I rarely eat the food.
Okay.
Well, McGriddles aren't bad.
All right.
Or a McBiscuit.
All right. They do have good coffee. Sip.
The food is good. It's extraordinary, but I just can't, at my age, eat a lot of fast food.
That's fair.
Stick to the good stuff.
So.
Sip, thank you. Always great stuff. We'll see you on Saturday.
All right.